Hi, my name is Hannah Rieger, and this is my problem of practice defense presentation. My research is titled The Road to Remediation, a case study retroactively exploring factors influencing mathematics college readiness in first-year students. My faculty advisor and mentor is Dr. Layla Sanguris. This agenda gives an overview of what I'll be covering during this research presentation. For the purpose of this research study, I use Jimenez et al. 2016's definition of remediation, which is basic courses to be completed after high school but before entering college-level work to verify students understand and comprehend the skills and information needed to succeed at the collegiate level. Each year, an average of 50% of students who graduate high school and enroll in higher education will need some level of remediation. Students who begin college in a remedial course are less likely to earn a college degree than those who don't. EAB 2018 report found that only 33% of students who begin in a remedial education will earn a college degree, and only 10% of those will earn a college degree in the traditional 4 years. This is a problem because many jobs needed currently and in the future will require a college degree. A study by Georgetown Public Policy Institute predicted that the percentage of jobs requiring a college degree would grow faster than educational institutions can adequately produce graduates. Finally, remediation is costly from a financial and emotional standpoint and can put students behind both financially and academically. This can affect their confidence level, attitude, and dissatisfaction with education. For the literature review, I looked at 4 different sections, the first being a gap in college readiness. So I really wanted to look into the communication between K-12 institutions and higher education institutions, and what is that communication that's being passed down to the students about collegiate expectations. The second is I wanted to look at the impact of students who take Algebra 1 early and see if there was an impact on college readiness for students who take Algebra 1 early. Finally, in this section, I looked at high school mathematics curriculum and the equality of curriculums around the state and country. The next section that I looked at was defining remediation and understanding its scope. So we know that remediation has been around for over 100 years since higher education institutions have been present, but I wanted to look and just see the scope of it. How many institutions does this affect? How many institutions offer remedial education? So I really wanted to understand the scope and what the definition of remediation was. The next section is challenges facing persistence and retention in remedial math students. So for this one, I wanted to look at statistics regarding how many remedial students persist to degree. Also wanted to look at the cost of remedial education for both students, families, and institutions of higher education. So what does that financially look like for families and institutions? Attitude towards mathematics, that can be a really big defining factor in college readiness. Is are students, are their attitudes good, bad, neutral, and how does that affect their college readiness? And then finally, internal and external influencing factors that lead students to remediation. The last section of the literature review is cultivation of mathematics talent and achievement. So here I really wanted to look into the literature on critical thinking skills as well as learning environments and just look a little bit deeper into how these different things affect college readiness. Wahlberg's psychological theory of educational productivity served as a theoretical framework for this research study. This theory is an empirically tested theory about the factors and influences that affect learning and academic performance in students. Wahlberg's theory consists of 9 factors that influence academic achievement and learning, organized into 3 categories of aptitude, instruction, and environment. In the aptitude section, we have ability, development, and motivation. Under instruction, we have the quality and quantity of instruction. And then finally, the environment, which has home environment, classroom environment, peers, and media. All of these things have a direct impact on a student's ability to learn and have good academic achievement. The purpose of this case study is to explore how remedial mathematics college students perceive the role internal and external influences played in their academic achievement and attitude toward mathematics. Further, this study retroactively explores the mathematics journey of remedial math students and whether they believe that their experience with the subject was a predictor of their achievement in mathematics and readiness at the collegiate level. This study was guided by 2 research questions. First, how do college students describe the influence of their aptitude, instruction, and environment on their attitude toward math? And 2, how do college students perceive their journey with mathematics related to their readiness for college math? For the qualitative design, I chose a single holistic instrumental case study. My participants were 5 first-year direct from high school students who enrolled in developmental mathematics in fall of 2022 or spring of 2023. As far as sampling, I used both criterion and purposeful sampling. Students to fit into the criteria for this study had to be graduates of an Oklahoma high school who then are first-time freshmen enrolled in a developmental mathematics class in either fall of 2022 or spring of 2023. Over 450 students fall into the criteria to be selected for this research study. However, I wanted to use purposeful sampling using a Qualtrics survey to purposefully select students I thought would be the best to answer the research questions. The site of this study is Chilton University, which is a pseudonym. Chilton University is a large public research university in the Mid-Southwest. Our freshman class last year was around 5,200 students, and about 23% of those students had to enroll in a remedial mathematics course, making this an ideal research site. After I've purposefully selected 5 participants from the Qualtrics survey, I then collected data through semi-structured individual interviews, which lasted around 30 to 45 minutes and had 11 questions. And then I moved to a focus group. I did 2 focus groups that lasted between 45 minutes to an hour, and I had 7 questions ready for discussion. Limitations of this study include the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of the students that are participants in this study would have been juniors or sophomores in high school when the COVID-19 pandemic occurred. This could have impacted their ability to learn mathematics. The second limitation was memory of the participants. I'm retroactively asking a student to think about their experience with mathematics, and that relies on memory. Memory has a limited capacity, and that could have impacted their ability to describe their journey with math. The delimitations of the study are boundaries that were set by me. So the first was the data collection site. I chose to select this site because it was convenient for me as it is my place of work. Additionally, I wanted to solely focus on developmental mathematics, and I did not focus on any other remedial or developmental courses or subjects that are offered at the university. For data analysis, I used Cresswell and Poth's data analysis spiral. Highlights of this process included creating transcripts of interviews and focus groups and then uploading these into Deduce, which is a qualitative research software. Next, I worked on coding the transcripts by rereading them several times. I used a priori coding based on my theoretical framework and my research questions. Then I added theme coding based on phrases, themes, and topics that emerged out of the data collection. I ended up having 19 codes, which turned into 4 categories, and out of those 4 categories, 9 thematic statements emerged, which I will touch on when I go over my findings. Finally, I compared the study results to existing literature on remedial mathematics education, as well as I compare the theoretical framework to the findings. For the overarching findings, I found that external influences on mathematics attitude and journey are more significant influence than the internal influences on mathematics attitude and journey, with 464 to 181 mentions during one-on-one interviews and focus group discussions. That's 72% external influences versus 28% internal influences, respectively. If you look at the yellow box, or the box on the left, that's where I'm describing the external influences that were mentioned during the semi-structured interviews and focus group discussions. For the instruction category, students mentioned the quality of education as well as quantity of education that they had. I will say that more students mentioned the quality of education as being an external influence over the quantity of instruction that they received. Also, all 5 participants mentioned a defining moment in math, and all of those defining moments were negative interactions with teachers. Moving on to the environment category below, all of those codes were mentioned during the data collection. However, classroom environment as well as teachers and the teacher interactions were the most significant factors under the environment category. Moving over to the green box or the box on the right, I described the internal influences that students mentioned during data collection. First, we have the aptitude, so a student's ability, their development, as well as their motivation and attitude. I asked everybody about their attitude toward mathematics, and it was either negative or one participant said neutral. There were no students that had a positive attitude toward mathematics. Out of the categories, theme statements emerged. This slide, I'll be talking about the internal influences on mathematics attitude and journey. So the first category is internal influences on mathematics attitude. The themes that emerged out of this category include remedial math students who struggle to comprehend foundational math concepts will often become frustrated and intimidated, which leads them to low math self-confidence, which affects their attitude with math. Secondly, students expressed emotions of anxiety and described avoidance tendencies when confronted with math, also impacting their attitude. The second category is internal influences on mathematics journey. The themes that emerge out of this category include the inability to understand and grasp foundational math concepts can lead to backsliding when there is a gap in instruction. Secondly, a negative attitude surrounding math can lead to low motivation and low self-efficacy. These things can significantly impact a student's journey with math and whether they take more math classes than they need, how much effort they put into their math courses and homework, and it could just really impact their journey with the subject. This slide discusses the external influencing categories on mathematics attitude and journey. The first category is external influences on mathematics attitude. Under this category, two themes emerged. First, students found the quality of secondary math education and unengaging math environments did not adequately prepare them for college-level math, leaving their attitudes more negative. The second theme is that negative experiences with math teachers can have a consequential impact on math attitude, motivation, and self-confidence. Moving on to the second category of external influences on math journey. Here, participants felt that teachers and counselors prioritized completing credits over the students actually comprehending the material. Secondly, students felt that college admissions counselors emphasized application logistics and information on extracurricular activities over the students' academic preparedness or what to expect academically. Finally, students felt that their supportive guardians, even though they were very supportive, they were not able to help their college-bound students due to a lack of knowledge surrounding academic college readiness or expectations at the collegiate level. The findings of this research are consistent with the literature review and reinforce prior research. This study specifically adds presence and real-life stories to the qualitative literature and already established themes on remedial math education. Based on the study's findings, I have recommendations for 5 target audiences. First, K-12 math teachers. I recommend that they practice patience and teach a growth mindset. Additionally, I recommend that they cultivate a kind, curious, and inclusive learning environment. For high school guidance counselors, I recommend that they connect college mathematics requirements to majors and careers of interest earlier. For school district administrators, I recommend that they invest in professional development for mathematics teachers. For college admissions counselors, I recommend that they discuss college academic readiness during high school visits and during campus tour presentations, as well as providing sample mathematics placement exams and after admissions materials. Finally, for students, I recommend that they take advantage of tutoring opportunities as well as avoid negative self-talk. To distribute the findings to my target audiences, I'm planning on using professional presentations that I can present at conference opportunities to K-12 math teachers, high school guidance counselors, and college admissions counselors. For school district administrators, I plan to use a memo highlighting the findings of the research study as well as the implications and recommendations I have for them. The final 3 slides are my bibliography covering the citations used in this presentation. Thank you so much for your time and attention to this important research topic.